Welcome to episode 44 of the Out on Loan podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeffrey Canova, joined by my lovely co-host here in the Big Three in Isaac Housen, and as always, the man himself, Kieran Keneally. I know you're the guy too, Isaac, but I just, Kieran's Kieran. We love Kieran here. But um, yes, had a interesting, exciting sports day yesterday, Saturday, from 9 a.m. Eastern time to what was it? I believe 8 p.m. West Coast time as well. We had great NBA games. I know there was some baseball too, but obviously the main one being here because it's the Outlaw podcast for our soccer content was the UCL Final, the highly anticipated matchup between PSG and Arsenal. And unfortunately, to our boys out there, all of our Arsenal friends out there, prayers to you, man. Unfortunately, PSG did go on to win their second consecutive UCL title in a row. A 4-3 win on penalties with a Gabriel miss that sent the ball all the way to the gods of Maradona and Pele himself. Unfortunate loss for Arsenal. Unfortunate penalty for Gabriel. I feel for some of my good Arsenal fans out there. I'm hoping we get some of them on, maybe Jude, maybe Sam. So hopefully we get them on to give their reactions. But we got the boys here to kind of give their reactions and just overall thoughts on the game. But yeah, I mean, I could kind of predict in the game. I said it wasn't going to be like the most exciting game of football in my opinion. It started off good. I would say those first like 20 minutes when Arsenal scored and I think PSG were on the attacks in certain situations. I thought we were going to get something really big. Um, I imagine for you guys when Arsenal scored first, we were just like, oh shoot, like oh wow, they scored in the first few minutes. Havertz, shout out to you, Doc. You called it. You said watch out for Kai Havertz. He might score a goal in there. And he did second goal in the UCL final, which is insane to say. I think he equals Due and Vinny from the current players that I know have scored so many finals. I think Messi has two Champions League finals, if I'm not mistaken. He has that one that he scored against United, and then well, the two goals that he scored against United in each different finals. But that's a very impressive number. Big game player as always. And then obviously you saw PSG equalize with the penalty later on with their constant attacks. As we know, PSG were just going to go in and attack. And then the game after that just kind of stilled for a bit until they went to extra time, and another final with penalty kicks and another center back determining whether or not a team was going to win it or lose it through a penalty kick. And Gabriel, doing his best John Terry impression, goes out, skies it up, and PSG go on to win 4-3 on penalties. I'll let you start, Isaac, because I've been yapping too much. But what are your thoughts on the final, man? Exciting or just disappointing, or I don't know.
Definitely not exciting, at least I think from like the style of play. I think it was kind of like that similar trend that a lot of us saw. I think Arsenal came out and played, I think, the way we thought they did, and I think PSG didn't come out and play, I think, is how we thought they would. I mean, I'll be honest. I think even for myself, and I think a lot of other pundits out there, we may have been a little bit too overconfident, sort of with what this PSG sort of attack was going to do to them. I think I even had like a 3-2 score. I know there's people out there talking 4-0, 5-0. This is going to be a battering, and even if it was for jokes, there felt like a layer of truth, at least from the way some people talked about it, and it obviously was not that. It was a grind. I think the fullbacks obviously were as crucial as sort of as we talked about in the like the preview ahead of time. I mean, Mascara obviously led to that penalty mistake. I mean, for them, there's obviously was a bit of conversation around that, but obviously I think the PSG pressure, I think obviously just eventually got to them in the end. I think that was obviously something I think maybe we all felt coming with the way the game trended. I don't know. It's interesting. We talked a lot about legacies ahead of this match. I think it'll be kind of interesting. I think it's not cemented permanently, but like the conversations around Saka this year kind of just ended very truthful. I think he didn't perform up to many people's standards. I think he's someone I've looked at that they said if Arsenal wanted to get a result, was going to need to play better. I mean, I know we don't love the trust of football ratings all the time, but I mean, 6.1, the yellow there. I mean, it was not a great performance. I think the entire game. I don't know. It's always penalties. Raya, it was weird. I think learning that from Arsenal fans, I was surprised how much they didn't really trust him on pens. I don't know. I guess maybe that's just like I'll own up to a little bit of lack of ball knowledge there. But like apparently he's not known for being a great pen keeper. I know some people were very worried when it got to that point, even though I thought he looked fairly fine. I mean, the misses were horrendous. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll own up to it. I'm happy. I picked PSG through all the way out. I talked a lot of smack. I think I'm less harsh. This Arsenal squad was just a good side. I saw what PSG did to the great Bayern side. I and all of us talked about this year, and they gave that PSG side a lot of trouble. I think it's fair to say they would have given us a lot more just based off of the way the result ended. So fair credit to Arsenal. I know maybe that wasn't sort of the take some people expected coming from me, but no, it was a tough game. I mean, credit to PSG. I think ultimately they were just the better. Yeah, that midfield trio is absolutely insane. I know. I'm sure both of you will talk about them in great lengths, but I don't know, just a pretty fairly boring, I think, to watch. Entertaining in the end, but congrats to PSG.
Yes, sir. Karen, any thoughts as well?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it wasn't like as a neutral, it wasn't like a great spectacle for the competition or sport. I guess we're not too surprised. We always knew Arsenal were strong defensively, and especially if they got an early lead, you knew they're going to kind of. They did like they surprised PSG with 4-4-2. I don't think PSG were expecting that. I think it was hard for PSG to build out of the back initially because Arsenal's front four took out the midfield for a while. I mean, throughout the whole game, even PSG looked a little uncertain of how to break down Arsenal. So I think you can give them a little bit of credit. They definitely had PSG stunned in that capacity. But then if you look at the stats, I think Arsenal had what, 28% possession, which is the lowest in a final since 2006 when Arsenal lost it again. So, I mean, I think that's disappointing. I know they're good defensively, but to really park the bus like that and surrender so much of the ball, it's felt like Leicester a bit. I mean, if you talk about the different styles, I know PSG weren't great on the day, but they looked very brave, very dynamic. They were very proactive. Whereas Arsenal, they just look like they have so much fear. They look like they really, really just don't want to make a mistake. They always want to play it safe. And I know you have to be calculated. You have to sometimes keep it simple in a final, but like you see just one shot on target the whole game. It's just I don't know. I think this highlights why we've been critical of Arsenal this season. I know they're Premier League champions, but when it comes to this kind of game, this kind of very conservative style, it back like if you're 1-0 up, it works, but if you're tied 1-1, it just backfires because they didn't look like they had a plan B, to be honest with you. And um, yeah, like I said, not a great game, but I think PSG deserved to win. They were more proactive, they caused more problems, and now they've gone back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's easy to say attacks win you tournaments, maybe, and defenses win you titles. And I think Arsenal's a great way to. So, I mean, maybe it's easy to say that just with Arsenal season, but I think you're seeing sort of the truth of that in this final.
No, definitely. I agree with everyone. In the sense that I think what I gave Arsenal a lot of credit was I kept on circling my head to what Sam. Shout out to Sam. I hope he's watching. Superstar attacks versus superstar defense, and I think a lot of it, what really caught PSG, like Kieran said, was the fact that it did look like PSG were shocked, and it did feel like that. Like I think, especially after the first half when Arsenal were 1-0 up, I was a bit nervous that my prediction was going to go right because I was like, "Oh shoot! Like this might be a dead." Like I didn't want a dead final. Like if it's going to go, like I want like a good final. I want us to go crazy into the first half. But the way PSG were just a bit stifled and neutralized for a majority of that first half. Where like, yes, they were more on the ball. Yes, they had the possessions. Yet they had the moments, but um, moments on the ball, I should say, not the moments of creating that many dangerous chances. I would say it just felt like the pressure was getting to them, and you're like, oh my god, Arsenal might actually like get away with this and get the result because you can just close down the shot for 45 more minutes, and if you're in there, you're in. You have the bench coming off. You have Timber potentially coming on to close down if Mascara makes something wrong against Kvaratskhelia. I think you could have gotten away with the result. But then, like I said, PSG are just too good. Where I'm like, and shout out to Kobe Gaines. I know we were texting back and forth in our group chat. We were like, hey, like I think the second half, there's going to be something different. Kravitskaya got more involved. We were just waiting for him to do some magic moment of brilliance. You saw Due get a little bit more involved. I thought Dembele wasn't sharp as well. I thought a lot of players weren't sharp. I think Hakimi was pretty rough out there. I think Bettina could have done a little bit more. I think Neves was amazing. Fabian could have done a little bit more too. And then you just saw the mistake from Mascara just giving away that silly penalty, just sliding in like that. And that was the thing that I think all of us predicted was like, you just need to be careful with that. And 1-1. And I think from there on out, I think Arsenal got a little bit nervous. They had moments here and there. I know a lot of the memes that were coming out was sorry, excuse me, right there. The 92nd minute where I think Nuno Mendes lost the ball and Gyökeres had the attacks here and there. But besides that, I just thought it was very like neutral. And you go to penalties and that's that. A little bit of controversy around the referees. I don't know if there was any things that you saw that were just ridiculous for any of you boys. I don't. I saw the Madueke thing. I don't know why Arsenal. If I was Jude and Sam were on, but I personally just don't see that being a penalty. I think Madueke was just holding onto his arm, and then he was just trying to
Mhm.
get the foul as he went down. It did feel like maybe Hakimi should have gone something away with that one slap. I did tell my dad, I was like, maybe that should have been a card. What else? I was thinking. I think there
Was
were a
those like a
few
few handballs?
moments, a few handballs here and there with the Saka thing, but I'm not. I don't know. Like I think for that sense, I don't think there's an advantage in that sense. But I don't know. What do you think here? And it
I
looks
think,
like you're
I mean, there was one interesting detail. It was PSG's penalty. I think Kvaratskhelia was fouled, and I mean, this is a small detail, but I think his shin was already like bleeding, or he had blood on his shin, which means he probably should have been like taken off the field for treatment. It's kind of interesting the referee didn't spot that. I mean, a minor detail. I don't know if any Arsenal fan picked up on that, but other than that, I mean, I don't think Arsenal should have had a penalty. I think Madueke initiated the contact with Nuno Mendes. So I can't. I don't really have any problems with the referees in that game. I thought they did, especially in the first half. They kind of picked up on Arsenal's time wasting. You saw toward the end they didn't let them take that corner, but I don't think the referee had a bad game.
welcome to the show, Richard. We just got you in the last minute. Funny enough, we're talking about Arsenal and penalties. Of course, the man has to like come in and just swoop in and have to give his take. But we just got
VAR.
on a little bit, a little bit of refereeing decisions and all that stuff. But Richard, any thoughts on that before we, or if you want to give yourself a minute to get ready? But no, I
Yeah,
agree.
I
Thought I
mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna quickly say, I also didn't have any issues. I know there was like the potential handball calls on Saka or like the calling the whistle early for the corner that Kieran was talking about. I thought they all were fair decisions. I mean, I can't really think of like any situations where it was like, oh, like the ref got it completely wrong. And even the penalty call that, that was called on Mosquera, that was absolutely the right call. Kvaratskhelia got his like back foot like taken off. So all in all, yeah, I mean, I thought it was like a good ref, 120 minutes, and that could also be because of the fact that there was only really one team that was doing a lot of actions, while the other team not so much after the first 5-10 minutes. So maybe it was quote unquote a bit easier to like ref, but at the same time, it is a Champions League final. Like there is going to be a lot of pressure to get a lot of decisions right, and for the most part, I think like the refs did their job.
Yeah. No, definitely. I guess you can kind of move on a little bit to the penalty kicks. Uh, yeah, I look, man. I haven't searched up the stats yet because I think it's almost impossible. I think it's hard, but I wish someone can pull it up. I don't know what is up with these players doing this little stutter step. Yo, give me the fucking camera on me right now. Yo, you guys need to stop doing that stutter step and kick. Stop doing that. I swear on my life, I've never seen that style work besides maybe one or a few players that can do it. And even then, why do you do it? Why? It's like trying to take a 3-point shot, you pump fake it when you have an open shot and you pump fake it, and then you wait there for a second, and then you shoot and you miss. It's like, why are you doing that? It's a moment of hesitation and a moment that kills your rhythm and your like thought process as well, I might say, because you stop and you overthink it. Like as a person who overthinks a lot, you know damn well I'm not doing no stutter kick, and if I do it, it's because I'm overthinking or I'm not ready. So please stop doing those damn. I've seen Vinny mess it up. I see when Mbappe was missing penalties last season, he was doing that stutter kick. Um, I think when Ronaldo missed the penalties against Bayern in 2012, I think he did a stutter step too. Like, stop doing that shit. Stop. Don't do it. If you're not that good at penalties, if you're not that confident, don't do it.
I
And look
think
what happened.
from my personal experience from the very limited footy that I did play and practice penalty kicks. Okay, this is for me. I don't really have that much like leg strength, so when you're like fully running and then like giving a kick, it's like I feel like for me it'd be hella inaccurate and completely miss the net. And what helped me was taking that little stutter step just to like gather my foot and knowing where I'm gonna shoot and then like going and just like making my front foot land properly and then like kicking and like at least for me that's where I had more success. I think the issue is some of these players they try to oversmart the keeper and they're like, oh, I'm gonna like make him move like the wrong way no matter what, and wait until the very last second, and that's where the mistake comes in. That's where they'll end up skying it. That's where they'll end up like shooting it way past the post, to the left, to the right, whatever it is. And that's where you like really see most of your misses. Or maybe they do shoot it on target, but the power isn't there, and a keeper can like, somewhat stop it, because it's like they don't have to like dive that much. So you gotta like pick your poison. I think like there isn't an issue like doing a stutter step, but it's like do it with conviction. It's just some of them, they try to they overthink it, like you mentioned, Jeff, and like in Eze's case, I think that's what it was. He was just trying to oversmart the keeper, and well, he ended up paying the price.
Yeah, definitely. Kieran, were you gonna say something before I was gonna give my take, or Isaac? I don't know, any of you two.
No, I mean, I understand why some players do the hesitation. The whole idea is if you hesitate, the goalie might move and you just shoot the ball the other way. Obviously, if the goalie doesn't move, you're kind of screwed at that point because the goalie can just kind of read you like a book. It'll be interesting though in terms of like the World Cup coming up, if teams are going to learn from that and change the way they do penalties. I don't know. That's something to maybe keep your eye on, but yeah, I mean, English players and English teams in general don't have a good history taking penalties. We've seen over the past however many decades, but yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it's easy to say it was a bad penalty. If he had scored that, I don't think we'd be complaining, but based off what happened, the hesitation really cost Eze there.
No offense, I would also say I'm going to watch Eze and Gabriel come pens in this World Cup. I think there'll be extra eyes on them, so I feel bad they'll have that extra bit of pressure. Although I also wonder how much, like, this is someone that's like never played, so I will own up to that. I wonder how much of it varies goalie by goalie, because you're scouting these goalies. You have advanced whatever, you know what they're good at, you know how they are in pens, their stats. I wonder how much of it is like, okay, this goalie reacts more to a stutter step or historically whatever. He's more effective at reading you, lefties, righties, whatever, and then you're trying to adjust your style per the keeper, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe you're trying to play it too much case by case versus like, I mean, Lua and Kane come to example. I just watched them for a while at Bayern. They do the same thing every single time. It is that stutter step. I mean, it's so effective for them, but it's consistent. You kind of know what they're doing every time, yet it is still effective because of how good they are. I think there's also a bit of like, if you just really work at it, if you're really good at taking pens, getting it in the right angles. I also think like if you get it in the right angles, the right spots, and the goalie's just making a good save at it, we don't even talk about it post hand like, hey, you missed your pen. We talk about it more as the goalie made a good save. Like I think they take a little bit more pride in it. Again, sometimes it even just comes down to like simply just technique with some of these players.
No, I agree. I loved all of your guys' analysis. I think Aricha, I really want to highlight yours. I think my criticism with the stutter step is, again, it has to come into who you are as a player. If you're so much an overthinker and you're trying to overthink a lot of things, I think that messes you up, because football, from what I've seen, it's a lot of, you need to time it correctly and you need to be on point. If you're not on point, if you make one slight mistake with the pass, the weight of it, or anything, you can mess up a great pass to a shit pass. Like that's how deep and like at times soccer can be. Just like that simple, but that like drastic as well. So for a stutter step like that, and then like Isaac said, and I think he brilliantly mentioned, like Kane and Level are so notorious. Even Jorginho too. Jorginho's, I was just like, I think they figured him out, which is why, like, remember he went on that crazy stretch. But there was a moment where I think it was Summer. Shout out to Summer, who stopped, and then people started figuring out. I think Ramos the same thing too. He did the little stutter. He did like a little stutter, and then he went for it. And then people started figuring out because he can read, like, okay, like I'm gonna look at the goalkeepers, and then the goalkeepers figured out, okay, if he knows I'm going left, I'm gonna fake it and go right. So they started reading that move more and more. But what made Level and Kane so good when they stutter step is my point, which is they put more power to it. They put more conviction to it, and it's more technique. I think for me, focus on putting the power and the placement and your running and your format to it than just trying to smart the keeper. Because if you can put power to it, you can blast it through a keeper. You can learn how to put it more to the bottom left, to the bottom right with more power and conviction. It's gonna be so hard for a keeper to do that. And then you can start thinking about like whether I should go to this angle or that angle. But what am I to say, bro? I'm in my ass here in LA, sitting down,
We're just those
criticizing
Americans.
a player. I'm an American. What the hell am I supposed to do when I'm going up against like freaking Stavanov and David Raya and like Donnarummas and all this stuff? Like, I get
We're a bunch of couch analysts. That's what we are.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We're about a couch analyst. Like, and I can't even. And I talk about power. I have no power in my penalty kicks when I shoot them, so I know how hard it is. Like when people make fun of players who can't shoot penalties or make penalties, like you guys need to realize how hard this shit is. Like, scoring a penalty is not as easy as you think.
Mhm.
Now, it doesn't put you in conversations in that certain situations at some cases, but you know how hard it is to score a penalty and be consistent with it and trying to beat a keeper and the power and the technique. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. Like, there's no handling the ball and then you shoot. No. You have to run through and shoot the ball. So I don't know. When I hear Pessis, when I hear Pinaldos, and I hear all the, remember when Bruno was getting criticized too because he was scoring his penalties. Lewandowski too. Kane's like penalties are so important in the game, and I hope people are starting to realize, especially when you look at Brahim's penalty earlier the year, the way he messed it up, the way Mbappe got criticized last year, the way Messi won his World Cup, the penalty shootouts from the last World Cup that we're gonna probably see again this year. Then obviously this final as well. Like, penalties are really important, guys. So don't make fun of people who just take them. Like, appreciate them. But any final thoughts before we kind of move on to our second topic? Or
I can just testify. Like, I've taken penalties before in like competitive soccer games. There's a lot of pressure that goes into them. I've missed every penalty I've ever taken. I'll admit. So like, I relate to those who miss penalties. I get it, man. It's nerve wracking. It really is.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
And
man,
I
the group chat says otherwise, but I'm kidding.
yeah, no, and like you said, Doc, too, like the fact that a lot of English teams just can't make penalties in these penalty shootouts, man. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong there. But before we move on a little bit more into a little bit more to the final and the legacy of some of these players, just want to give also a mention to Robin Stone. As always, please go follow the guy. Please go follow our King, our glorious savior who does our reels and edits and posts them on our social media. Shout out to you, King. Much love to you, and can't wait for World Cup when we start pumping these content out. But yeah, legacy for some of these players. I mean, we got the result. Arsenal, I know they just had the parade today for the Premier League trophy. Congrats to them, Premier League champions. They finally get to celebrate. Hopefully, Jude and our guy, what's it called, Sam, are out there. Miraculously just went out to England and final. Just kidding. But where do Arsenal go from here? I think that's the real question. Like, what's next for Arsenal? I mean, I don't know. What's next?
I think they'll be back. I mean, I'm not like, because most of this team, you have to think of Arsenal, they're going to stay. I don't think they're going to lose any starting caliber players. I think they'll learn from it. I think they'll be hardened by it. It'll hurt, but I think when due time, they'll learn from how to manage it better. I remember like Liverpool, they lost 2018 to Madrid, kind of a heartbreaking loss for them. And then they reinforced in the window. They came back the next year and won it. So maybe Arsenal will watch this game and go, we need a superstar winger like Kvaratskhelia. We need someone like that. And they go into the market for that. Or maybe now because they've won a Premier League title, they don't have that kind of pressure. They already have that trophy. So maybe they're just naturally more relaxed and they can play a bit more expansively with nothing to lose almost. And maybe they'll be more proactive next season. So I think they'll make a couple more signings, but I can definitely see them being back in the final either next year or in 2 years' time.
I just want to quickly say real quick, we are going to get into transfers. I'll let you finish, Isaac, but it did remind me of the fact before I forget. Rafael Leao just yesterday announced, or a few days ago, I don't know what, announced that he will be leaving AC Milan. I think he's out the door now. So, and you know how Milan are in a complete mess. They just missed out in Europe. So Arsenal, Leao, I don't know. Like you said, left winger, Rafael Leao. I would not be surprised if that's the winger that. And I thought Leao would be a player that would go to Barca, just because like Leao. I don't know. I just always saw Leao as a Barca player. Like that's a player that I always thought like come in big and you splash the cash for a team like Barca or Madrid. So Arsenal, you are looking for a left winger to replace a Trossard who's aging, a Martinelli that hasn't proved himself yet. I think Leao, when he's at his best, man, arguably you can see he's up there with one of the best in the world in terms of the wingers position. So, to Arsenal, I could see it. But Isaac, I'll let you go.
No, it's interesting. Actually, funny enough, I would like to talk about that sort of little transfer and stuff as well. It's interesting because I think, Leao's an interesting one, but he had seen him linked at Bayern before, and I think he got involved a lot, especially with Anthony Gordon making that move to Barcelona. Now I know we'll talk about, but like Leao's one of those where like he's not really involved in pressures. Not a very defensively involved winger, which is something that like the Bayern, even the Barcelona under Flick, and I think even Arsenal a little bit really crave a lot in their system. So it'll be interesting because I think there's a bit like talking about Kieran making some signings. Biases aside, Arsenal I think is my pick for the Champions League next year. I think for a lot of the reasons Kieran already talked about, because I think there's a realizing there's going to be a little bit of shifting in their ideology. I think they're going to keep a lot of the main stuff the same. I think there might be a little bit more of that offensive jolt that they're looking for that maybe Leao is. I think they're going to have to mix a little bit and play a little bit with it and realize, hey, maybe we can't have everyone as defensively involved as we want. You're just going to have to take a few more risks, and I think it's going to come through a lot of the signings that they may make. Maybe that is a Leao. Again, I think that's going to then show some signs that they're willing to sort of change what they are at least requiring their wingers to do, which I think then opens up sort of questions about like, okay, where are they going to be formationally, especially with the amount of defenders they have? They can play a lot with that system. So that'll be very interesting. But yeah, the lack of pressure, having the league title, having the experience, like we're in the Stanley Cup Finals starting on Tuesday. The whole thing everyone loves to talk about with the Stanley Cup Finals is you need that experience. You need people, you need guys, you need veterans that have been there and done that. And shocker that I don't think the Champions League is any different by any means when it comes to that. I think as you've seen from Madrid, we've seen from Barcelona, Bayern, all these great teams now, PSG that have done it, because they've been there and they've done it before. They've played so many of those European greats. So I think now Arsenal going through a full even belt of that from top bottom, playing the full thing out, getting to a final. Yeah, I think they're going to be. I think they'll be a-okay. I think you can be happy with this year and walk away as long as you make some good signings. That you're going to be pretty good. Although one diss at them to end it off. I know I've been giving a lot of compliments. They are the first team, technically, I think, to go undefeated in the entire tournament and still lose with penalties. So thank you, Arsenal, for being Arsenal.
Oh my! I did forget about that.
Say, Man United is still the only English team to like win both their Champions League like undefeated, 99 and 08. So thank you, Arsenal. Really appreciate that. But I'll also just like add on to you guys real quick. Yeah, I mean I agree with you guys. I think like if anything, like for Arsenal, they should like build on this. Like, you know, it's not like this is a really old experienced team where year in and years out, like they just like continue to fail. Like this is their first time they've, you know, made it to this stage, and you know they've almost had it. And from there on, you know, you have that experience. You just build on it, and obviously like add some more complementary pieces that's going to like elevate hopefully your offensive game, because man, that was brutal to watch. I think we can all agree with that, like throughout the season, and obviously this game it just kind of sucked that you know, having what like under 200 passes or something, like that's just it's not acceptable. So hopefully like Arteta kind of like looks at that and thinks like, you know what, like defense isn't like always everything. Like obviously it's super important, which you already have, but like improve the offense too. Like it doesn't hurt, and if anything, that's probably going to help you potentially do a double or a treble or a quadruple. Who knows? So yeah, that's all I got. Just like build on this and like improve the offense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree with everyone, and I'm curious to see really who they're going to get in the market, because I think they do have to strengthen. I think there are some players who are just not it yet. Like I think Trossard and Martinelli, like we've seen it throughout this whole year, they're just not the players that you want, especially if you're going to try to retain a trophy when everyone else is just going to go after to get better. World Cup year as well, so I'm excited to see maybe if they fall not into the trap, but like into that um
Hype.
into that trend I should say, where there's a superstar that comes out of this World Cup. We're like, all right, we're gonna go after him. I want to play for this team. Like, let's say someone pops out for Colombia or Bosnia, or you know, for Bosnia. Oh, let's get him 30, 40 million. Let's put him on our team. Blah blah blah. So I'm curious to see whether they follow on that trend. And I heard some rumors for midfield as well, because I think they do have to get probably another midfielder to give competition to Miles Lewis Skelly and Zubamendi, and just finally help Rice just be the player, because I feel like Rice's last few games just hasn't been it, in my opinion. He wasn't too bad in the final, but I think I would have wanted a little bit more from him. So you just want to see if you can either get him more down or more up into the pitch to figure out what he's best at. But yeah, like Kieran said, I'm hoping they, and you guys said, like I'm hoping for them, they figure out a way to just expand their football just a little bit more, be less just defensive, and just go out and play a little bit more higher and get the right pieces to really go out and compete again. Because there won't, I don't think there'll be another time in the Champions League they'll get an easier like draw than that, where you had like honestly potentially you should have been Barca in the semifinals, but that didn't happen. So I don't know when will be the next time they'll get like an easier bracket than that. So we'll see for that. But I mean, a little bit now to PSG, I guess. PSG now back to back UCL Champions League winners. Are in the modern era, I think are 3P is in threat right now because what's crazy for PSG is the fact that they can do it again. Like that's how deep they are. That's how talented they are. That's how good they are. That's how confident they are. And Isaac brought it up in the last episode. They don't even play that many league games because their league is just not that good. And that's not. I don't want to discredit anything like that, but that's just the advantage that they have compared to the other leagues. Like they can just sit their players out and just go out fully in for the rest of the Champions League following and starting in March or in February till like June. So they have that benefit that you just can't like escape from. Also, will say from PSG side, they're the most physically dominant team that I think I've ever seen. Like they just run for days. So I'm just curious to see whether with World Cup coming up, some of those players have not taken any rest. Like Nuno Mendes, I don't know when is it going to be the next time he gets rest. I know for Kieran's sake, remember he was with Portugal, won the Nations League, and then literally the next 2 weeks or a week after, he went to go play in the Club World Cup, and then from there on out, PSG didn't even have like a preseason or anything to rest up. So, and remember, PSG got to that final too. So I'm curious to see for a lot of those talented players that will be going far into this World Cup for their nations, um, how they'll be with able to withstand that. So, any thoughts on PSG? Do you think players should be on the lookout, or PSG? Who do you think they're going to snatch up? Is anybody going to leave, in your opinion, that you've heard of from rumors or players?
I know yesterday Luis Enrique said they need to make more signings, so that was kind of interesting. Like they won it and immediately said they need more players, so probably solidified depth. Maybe I would say defense. I think we've all questioned their defense from time to time this season, so maybe another center back. Marquinhos is getting up there in age. Maybe another backup right back because if you lose Hakimi, then I feel like there's a drop off there. I don't think anyone's going to leave. Maybe I would say Gonzalo Ramos, but even then, I wouldn't say he's a superstar. He's more of like a depth player. So I don't think this PSG team's going to get disbanded like other teams have. I just think they need to add on it and just add a couple of depth signings here and there because they already have the superstars. They've done the hard part. They just need to get those 6-man or like those really good bench players to complete the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say maybe like a Fabian Ruiz could also like leave this summer or maybe next summer. I haven't heard any rumors there, but it just seems like his time at PSG may not seem to be like as long as we think it is. So that could be like another. And if he does, then obviously you need to like add another like midfielder there, which I guess maybe they have like a Mayulu that is like very versatile and can like sort of like slot in and play there at least for the league games. But yeah, I'd also say just like look out for the defense as well because as solid as that defense is, like um, I think it doesn't hurt to add some depth pieces in like the fullback position. And I do wonder like other than Nuno Mendes, like who their other like backup like left back is. I think it's Lucas Hernandez if I'm not
Lucas
mistaken. But
Hernandez is one of them, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
I mean you also have to see like what his options are if he how long he's going to be there and maybe like add another piece there. So yeah, that
But what's
add
scary
on to
about
the depth.
PSG too is the fact that I keep on forgetting they're what was it that someone said? They're in the center of the best like talent pool in world football, arguably. So it's like even if like they lose some players, they're gonna get like another Barcola type of player who I forgot to mention too. He's someone that I think Liverpool or I think Arsenal were looking at too to potentially leave, but they'll get another player. Like Hugo Ekitike came out of their academy. Who else came out? Like this is other players that come out of there where I'm just like they're gonna get someone too. So they're up there as well. They're probably gonna snatch up a top talent from French and just put him in their team. They still have Zaire Emery too, who can play in the midfield or play
Mhm.
right back. So I think they'll be, and that's the scary part about them is like I know they might be physically shot by the end of this World Cup because all their superstars will be. I'm confident they'll be getting past like the round of 16 quarterfinals. Like literally, I think in 3 days they probably gonna start training for World Cup. Like Nuno Mendes has to go out, Dembele and Barcola and everyone has to go. Marquinhos has to fly out back here to the States with Brazil. You have Kravetskelia will get some rest, so he'll be chilling and resting up real good. So that's kind of scary. Due is probably gonna has to get ready. Dembele, Ramos, uh, Fabian, Vitinha, and Neves, who are the two dogs of that team. Like just a full team. I'm kind of scared for it, but like dude, they've done this now for 2 years. Like, I think they will be going after the feet. I'm terrified. Someone asked like, if PSG or Barca played in the final, who are you going for? I'm like, dude, I'd rather just kill myself. Like, I'm not watching. PSG win, 3P, they tie it, and then if Barca win, I mean, it'll be Barca fans, so I would just be crying my eyes out. But Isaac, you were gonna say something real quick before you kind of switch away from the final and just.
No, I don't know. I think I always see like two-way rumors occasionally like pop up on the timeline, which I don't know how much truth there is to that because that's more of like very much his choice, or at least the club's choice. I'd love him at Bayern. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I'd love the offensive reinforcements there. I think a lot of people would like really anyone of that starting three. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with a lot of it. I haven't really seen much about this side. I mean, like you said, with Enrique talking about getting more signings, I would just expect maybe some. I don't even think more of that like 10 to 40 million range, 50 million range. Like you said, you're buying on a couple 22, 23-year-olds, some youngsters, maybe a few veterans mixed in there to flesh out that squad. And then boom, like you said, you might be back for a three-peat. I don't know if I'd go to Jeff's level of how much I would just enjoy that three-peat, but I'm not saying I wouldn't be right there with you and be a little disappointed. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe that's always the taste of like growing up. And no offense, Jeff, I know you're the Patriots fan here. Like the Tom Brady Patriots area. Like I grew up and like from birth, it was like boom, you're born right into a dynasty, and you have to watch the same team win the Super Bowl every year, and then you get the Chiefs kind of right out of that. Like I'm so like dynasty out. I think that's one thing that's also like even just about the NBA that was always for a period like a bit of a turnoff was just like same teams in a row that like I've liked that football's kind of been I don't know even for a little bit stage in this 2020s and later after this like Madrid like sort of dynasty we've gotten a little bit of like variability and I don't know.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'm the Madrid fan here, and like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I get it. And, like, I'm just saying from a Madrid perspective, like that's why I said like if you're a Madrid fan, you're watching that final, where you going from? Like, dude, just blow up the stadium at that point. I don't want to see it, bro. Fuck that.
You saw
But
those memes too?
yes, I saw a lot of those
where
memes.
it's like on was the 90th minute and Arsenal's up 1-0 and like yeah.
Oh,
Did
dude,
you guys see that
meme.
new?
Shout out to the memes, man. Shout out to all the memes. Those are some of them are really funny.
I
What were
can
you gonna
finally
say?
reference this movie. The Balls Up with Mark Wahlberg. Have you seen that movie that came out this year? It's like the FIFA movie that came out on Prime. Oh my god, one of the worst comedies I've ever seen. But it's about them like invading the World Cup pitch and like costing Brazil the World Cup, and it's like they're getting hunted down in Brazil. It's just you were talking about the memes. I don't know. If you want like an interesting experience.
No, one of my favorite ones is like the USA ones that we saw last year with like Donald Trump seeing like Mexico go up 1-0 in the final over the USA or something like that. Like those ones are funny that I saw. I will say, for some of those teams that were posting some of the memes out there making fun of Arsenal, y'all are assholes, bro. Y'all are assholes. I see what you're doing there, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea. You saw Nottingham Forest, Chelsea's. Who else joined in the fun? You players like
shining their champs trophy.
their champs trophy. Like
Chelsea was
Forest,
like,
man, you
oh,
asshole.
if you're
To
still
put
in
out
London and
Robbo,
still want to see the
Hart,
Champions League.
Red Heart. Like, come on, bro. You guys are assholes, man. Where's running that shit? I know if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd be fuming. A part of me is thinking, like, damn, like, a lot of it's kind of overhated, but, I mean, when you saw some of the things some Arsenal fans on the internet were saying, you're just like, come on. But I will say, final thing, too, UEFA, bro, you got to fix your system up with some of your man of the match award decision makings and your player of the did you see the UEFA team of the season as well? Like that's just for me the fact that you put Gabriel in there and not Saliba, that's insane to me. Your top scorer with Kane is not in there. Come on now, like let's be for real. No Luis Diaz in there. Like, what are we doing here? Like that team, like doesn't make any sense. I know Madrid didn't do anything, so I get there's no player, but like the top scorer is not in the team of the season. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wait, then
Like
who is in the team of the season?
I think it was Kane, Olise for sure. No Upamecano. Like Gabriel over Upamecano is insane to me. That's just ludicrous to me. You have Hakimi. I think it was Loriente over Hakimi, which I can understand because of the run Atletico Madrid did make, and I thought Loriente was fair. In that run, but even the man of the match award at the end of the final, like Vitinha was nowhere near the man of the match. Like Neves was better. I would even argue. I know Gabriel missed the penalty, but like, even he was just better than Vitinha, more impactful in that game than Vitinha.
Wow.
So I don't know. The PR is crazy, bro. For me, the PR is like something I didn't like, but at least some of the fans on the internet know. Like, no. Vitinha was nowhere near the fucking man of the match. Like that is insane to me, and I don't like the conversation he's getting into either. So I'm happy that some people are realizing like he's not better than a lot of players. Like he's not. Like he's not better than Kimmich. He's not better than some play. Like he's just not. Like he's elite, but he's not to that yet. I know he's vital, but he's not that. But yeah, that's my final thoughts on that. But before I go into USA versus Senegal to finally end of the show, please, as always, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, on TikTok. Can't wait for World Cup to start, just for all the content that we'll be getting out there and all the fun stuff that we'll be doing. Some of the boys out here, but World Cup is approaching. The season is done. We can finally say everything's done. We can't wait for the 2026-2027 season to start. But before that, obviously, we got the biggest tournament in the world, the most viewed, the most watched, the biggest, arguably, not the most hyped, I would say, in years to come. I think for around the world, I think for us Americans that are living in the States, we are excited because the World Cup is here. But for a lot of people, it's not. But still, it's a World Cup tournament with a lot of superstars coming into our country. But of course, we're USA fans, so we're rooting for our team to go out strong. We did go ballistic on the team selection, what I believe was on Wednesday. We got some hate comments, some stupidity out there. Like, I'm just like, come on, guys, watch the video again, listen to us. I know, Kieran, you're going after some people. Isaac, I know you had some things to say. I had to respond to some things. Arich, I don't know if you saw them, but just had some funny comments that if you have the chance to watch, go look over them. But hey, you know what? The USA kind of shut us up. 3-2 win against Senegal. I mean, it's not that big of a achievement because, do it in the World Cup stage and get us far. But good 3-2 win. I saw some decent performances for the few minutes that I saw in that matchup. I know Pulisic scored. Des scored. I think Balogun as well could have gone 2. So, or did he get 2 if I'm not mistaken? What was the final? I think it was 3-2, right?
Well, there was like the whole one was I think like taken offside. I'm not sure if it was a foul or like an offside in the buildup or something like that, and it got taken back. But like it wasn't, and it wasn't on one board, and like on Foot Mob or one of them it said 4-2, but the score was like the tweet was 3-2 when Balogun scored. It was weird. I don't know, something with a scoreboard, something with scorekeeping, something I hope we don't have to deal with in the actual tournament.
I don't think we will be doing that, but yeah, 3-2 win for the USA. Isaac, I know you're an American guy. You're a boy here, so any thoughts on what you saw? I know we were watching the Yanks too. I know we were watching some of the
yeah, 13 runs in the third inning. I think it was definitely I think a franchise run record for maybe a single inning, I want to say, or at least it was close to something like that. But anyway, this is a soccer podcast or football podcast. I've seen a lot of people getting the Americans that are all making like soccer content. All the comment sections I see now are like, call it football. You can start getting it right by calling it football. So I'll try my best to keep it going with football.
We'll try to respect
but yeah, it was interesting with some of the comments because like, I don't know. I think it's, I'm not ever one of those players that's like people that's like I'm actively rooting against the USM men's national team. There are those like USMNT fans out there that like actively root against the team based off of decisions or managerial and all that. And I will say I'm never that. Like whenever we get into a game, getting into a tournament, I want us to do our best. But that also doesn't mean that we can't be self-critical with the roster that we do get. I think it's fair to say if we're going to have to watch whatever those 26 players are, it's fair to say, okay, this is what you're giving us. I can at least give my thoughts on it. And obviously there's a lot we weren't happy with. And yeah, they shut us up. At least to a certain degree, Senegal is no slouch. Granted, there's some interesting starts. Like,
you know what's funny? I was gonna call them the AFCON. As I was writing the script, AFCON. I'm like, oh wait, no. Technically, they're the runner-ups because they didn't win the thing. But we'll call them the AFCON champions, in my opinion.
Like they started Bayern like youth academy product who's played like under 10 games for us. Like he started in their midfield and played like I think at least 45 minutes. I want to say. For Senegal, so like I don't think it was their full strength squad. I know that's kind of I don't know, maybe pulling straws, but like yeah, I think they did everything they needed to do. I think they showed that they're a good unit together, which I think that's just so important for this World Cup. I think they really thrived off the home energy. Pochettino did bring it. I will say, at least if you're going to leave us after this, at least it seems like he's put in real effort to this squad, at least in care, which that's what I wanted to see. I think that was sort of where some of my complaints left with the sort of like with the email decision. I mean, yeah, I think there was some like Robinson had a terrible mistake. So like again, I think there is some signs of like I thought Trusty was the better center back today. I think he should be in the lineup over Ream. I don't mind for the veteranness giving Ream the captaincy for this World Cup, but like there's also a part of me too where like this is supposed to be continually building for future generations. Give the captaincy to someone who's going to at least play 1 or 2 more World Cups and let them be able to carry that role into future ones and like give it to an Adams, give it to a McKinney, maybe not, I don't think Pulisic, but like give it to one of those guys where I think you have a lot of confidence in them going forward. That's a small nitpick. Again, maybe people would just say, again, I'm hating to hate. Again, I still love my nation when it comes to football. I still want us to do well. And I will say one thing I didn't get to talk about that I do love in the roster decision was I do think the attack is actually really, really good. Pepe has that move, I think, to Fulham. He's had a great season in the Eredivisie. Haji Wright has been really important for Coventry and their rise. Pulisic, even with the slide, I think his quality when it comes to national team performances. Reyna, you're happy you're in there. Dash, as long as he's back, you get to see how fluid he is in the attack going forward. You saw that with the goal today as well. So there's a lot with this attack that can go right, which I still am very optimistic about. Again, I think it's a lot more just the defense and the goalkeeping, which I think we were rightly calling out in the roster decisions, just because it's a real place to worry. And I think it's something that's going to come up whether we like it or not. But again, at the end of the day, 3-2 result. Good. You need to win these games. Germany up on Saturday. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm happy for now. And like I said, I'm still excited.
Definitely. Karen and Arichano, any quick thoughts as well?
I mean, I wasn't able to watch the game. I had some stuff going on today, unfortunately, but I don't want to look into the result too much because it is a friendly at the end of the day. So it's one of those good we won, but let's see what happens when we get to the tournament. The formation is kind of interesting to me. I know Poch has always been like a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 type of guy, but lately, especially today, it was that 3-4-3 system with the three center backs. I'm interested to see if that's what he's going to go with going into the tournament or if he was kind of experimenting. So that I think I'm a little worried by that because if you play a 3-4-3, you want your two outside center backs to have a lot of pace to cover ground. And I mean, Tim Ream fortunately does not have that pace anymore at his age. So that does worry me a bit going into it, especially with Robinson too. He's a good fullback, but he's been injured for a lot of the season for Fulham. He's missed a lot of football. But I mean, if we're going to go into this tournament with 2 wins in a row, that's the best case scenario. And we'll see how we do against Germany. I think that's the final test. And that's a good test. I mean, Germany, good team. I wouldn't say they're one of the best, but that's a good test to go into the tournament.
Absolutely. Completely agree. I mean, Germany are just the talent and all that type of stuff. Aricha, go ahead. Yeah, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say, I mean, it's a encouraging result because, I mean, you saw my disappointment when we were talking about the USA squad. It was like, dang, not much has changed, and even the ones that are returning, they just haven't had a good club season or two, coming into this World Cup. So I was really concerned there. But good to see Captain America get on the score sheet and also have an assist. So that's awesome that in one half he was able to be that productive, and Pepe getting an assist there as well as Reyna and Dest getting some minutes because I feel like they haven't been getting that much time due to injuries and stuff and in their club team. So I mean this is encouraging, and obviously that Germany game will tell us a bit more, but super excited to see where they build on from this.
Yeah, I completely agree with everyone. I'm still very skeptical as always. These type of results, I'm just always cautious and wary of because Senegal might look at this as a friendly, but at the bright side too, they might look at it as okay, we need to actually perform right here in the States. We got to get accustomed to this environment and this climate and all these type of things. Shout out to the fans of Senegal too that turned up too. I saw there was a big section in that area, so I'm excited for that to see. Stadium looked nice too. I thought coloring looked great. I just want to get ready for World Cup. I'm looking at the stadium, the fans are that are involved. And then the team itself, and I think it's also a good reflection with how good the team played today. I think the attack, as Isaac said, I think that was something that we really didn't touch on. Well, I kind of did, but mine was more of how will you appear in this tournament? And they did look good. I thought Pulisic looked really good today. Very fluid against that Senegalese attack. I thought Pepe looked awesome as well. Reyna is always a player that when he's on form, it's always if he's on form. It's a player that can unlock something and turn up. So I'm excited to see them. If they continue on this great form, we can do something. Kind of makes me a little bit confident we can get this type of result against Senegal. That maybe we can get a good result against a Paraguay, whoever it may be. Even if we go up against Turkey, we're probably going to be one of the favorites to go in there. Isaac, you were going to say something real quick?
No, do you see what they did with Turkey too as well? Because they were one of the later teams with all of the qualification, all that. I believe it's either U.S. or the Federation or whatever. They get to choose where the teams are going to practice when it comes to the U.S. and they put them in Arizona. So a little bit of strategy there for the U.S. Federation. So we're making them practice, and their home base is in Arizona in June. So we're talking about strategy. We're talking about the tough results. So we're making them work for it. So that's going to be again. You talk about unique advantages. So hey, you got a game somehow.
Right. Exactly. I completely agree. I mean, if you're gonna go into this country and you're not the best form, you got to find ways to just take the best advantages you can. If you're gonna send them to probably the most hottest place in the world, do it. Just do it. Oh, bring the cat, man. Come on, we want to see the cat.
You want the Superman almost fell over? I don't know. I had this one up in the house. I don't know where the
Yeah, that's
Batman one
Crystal
is.
Posters today.
Oh, the Batman one is right here as well. Sorry.
Oh, shout out to Batman as well. We know we love some of our comic books out there, but yeah, no, I think the Heat is going to be a big part into us getting an advantage, and I'm just excited to see how we do up against Germany, because like you guys said, I mean Germany aren't probably the favorites to win it. We know they're in kind of like this weird like rebuilding phase while still having a few veteran pieces in there, but they still needed more talent. But we kind of said the same thing when we faced against the Netherlands team back in last year, the last World Cup. So it's like, a dangerous roster with talent can just knock us out. But if we turn up well against that, we put a good performance. I think we go into this World Cup very confident at SoFi Stadium when we play against that first game and get a good result at the home field. Hoping SoFi is amazing, but um, yeah, no, good result, man. I'm happy the attack was at least the bright spot, but you did see the defense, as we all said. Defense today was just not it, man. Like you saw the Mane goal just running behind. Like that's something I do not want to see at this World Cup, especially if we're going up against a Turkey who have those type of dynamic players and out of the Gulers and your Yildiz and your God, I always forget that striker on Turkey who plays for I believe in Galatasaray, like him too. Like that's a dangerous player you gotta watch out for. And Paraguay as well. Like you guys, I know how dangerous they can be in CONMEBOL as well. So good result for the USA, man. I'm hyped for that Germany game. But any final thoughts before we kind of end off the show here? With I guess I can quickly go on to transfers as well, but it'll just probably be for a minute or two. But any final thoughts for the US before we, kind of go into Germany and then we give our full predictions next Sunday for their group stage and their games and their predictions and stuff like that. Final thoughts?
Brazil 6-2.
Oh, shout out to Brazil. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? I was looking over. I was so focused on the USA and obviously making the script today. I forgot about the results. I know Germany won 4-0. Japan got a good 1-0 win as well.
You see that Mongolia Singapore game?
No, I was not going to watch that.
No.
4-0.
Open foot moment saw that one. I was like, where's the real ball knowers at? Who's watching Mongolia? Singapore right now. Number like
Someone put a bet on
170.
that, I bet.
None of us respect. Switzerland too. I know they're in there. So Shaka got a goal today. So shout out to him. I know I made a
God damn,
big
bro.
praise to
Singapore
Shaka.
smoked them 4-0.
I wish Cunha would have scored today, but I think he got a goal disallowed. So that sucks for him. Happy to see Vinny got and score shit as well. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Brazil, they're in there as
Nah,
well.
I mean, I was just gonna say like real quick. I got a chance to watch the second half of that Brazil Panama game, and man, Igor Thiago, bro, that man's a workhorse. Like the way he was pressing, that led to that second the goal for Ryan. And I also like Lucas Paqueta, man. That man, he should still be in Europe. I don't know what he's doing in Flamengo, man. He's like he's only 28. Like you still have like a solid 3-4 years
life.
left, man. Like come back. Like no no point in
He should have gone
going
to
in
Man
Brazil
City.
right now.
He should have
That's what
gone
I
to Man
thought too.
City.
And then that move never happened, and now it's. I mean,
But
he's
guess what
still
team he was
fast,
playing for?
so-
West Ham.
I guess West Ham was that bad. He wanted to leave the country, huh?
Damn.
I mean, you can't blame him. Look at what happened to West Ham.
Yeah.
Bad, bro. I mean, he was probably like, dude,
Didn't want a salary cut.
Fuck London, bro. I'm going back to Flamengo, bro. Being with the Brazilian, people and the beaches down there as well. Like, fuck London. But good results for some of the teams that will be preparing for World Cup. USA, Brazil, Germany. And then the other person that's probably gonna have a nasty World Cup is also gonna be Fabrizio Romano as well. I know he's gonna be crazy with his graphics. I know he got called out earlier this week with some of the transfer rumors. We saw him get exposed a bit by the Atletico Madrid admin. Shout out to Atletico Madrid admin as well. You saw the whole Julian Alvarez thing. I know the rumors came out with
And
Julian
they
Alvarez.
were photoshopping like Lamine and Pedri with like Atletico
Pedri.
jerseys and
Bad Bunny ticket
that's
concert.
stolen.
He was like, here we go. To revoke the statement, we were gonna send you a fax offer with Bad Bunny tickets to our concert at the Wanda Metropolitano and all this stuff. So I know they called us out too when we made like some complaints to the referee decisions that one league game that we beat them in. I know they had like a full thread, and I was just like, whoever's running them, like, fair is enough. And you're seeing that trend with a lot of teams are doing that. A lot of professional sports teams. I know the Pelicans did it against Stephen A. Smith when he called out, I think, Zion Williamson and stuff like that, and then they went on a full thread and called him out. Atletico Madrid has done that. You saw that today with the whole thing with Arsenal and like all the English teams showcasing their uh, European trophy. And then you just saw Atletico earlier this week just go mayhem. And I mean, first credits to Fabrizio. I mean, dude has been managing all of our transfers. He got exposed for how much he runs through the things. I think someone also said he spoiled the UCL final as well. Like the graphic came out and all this stuff before he found out about the penalty kicks too. And I was just like, damn, bro, I feel for you, bro. So it just shows how much in control he is and how much more he's gonna be in control during this World Cup, man. All the graphics, whoever's running his team, man, dude, they're like, I don't know how much they're paying them, bro, but some of his graphics are just the most hilarious things I've ever seen, bro. Like their AI generated stuff, the timing he puts it on. Um, those are some of the just transfer news. Julian Alvarez to Barcelona potentially. Anthony Gordon as well. Something I did not see coming. Insane to me. I think United were interested in a few players as well, if I'm not mistaken. United guys. Who was it again?
We,
I
mean,
think.
we were interested in Aurelien Chouameni, but Perez said he's staying at Madrid, so I think our
Yeah.
dreams kind of got killed there a bit. But
Yeah.
we were interested in Ederson. I know that midfielder we've been
I think
actually
that move is
negotiating
probably
with.
gonna get finalized soon. The Ederson one, yeah. And then
So you got
Yeah.
Ederson coming into United potentially. No Chouameni.
looks like it.
Sorry.
That was my dream right there,
Nah,
is
nah.
Chouameni. I'm kind of
We're
disappointed by
still
that
coming
one.
after him. Yeah.
Probably maybe
we-
when
we-
he's like 31 or something. Like when we get another
No,
like
no, no, no,
CDM to
no. We
replace.
can talk with Papa Perez.
No,
We're
you're
not
not
that
touching him,
good.
bro.
All
Perez
right.
said he's not touching him. No,
We
Perez-
No, while
stole
Goretzka on a
Lenny
free?
from you. We got Casemiro from you. We do good business, okay? We do good business.
So
Come on now.
even though the season just ended, there are like some new transfers coming out for next season that we're excited for. I mean, Alvarez to Barca, I think that will be happening, even despite everything Atletico Madrid that will be happening. United are starting up their ramp up to kick off their potential league title campaign for next season as well. If they get an Ederson and they get more of those players. Madrid, I haven't heard anything, but I think elections for the presidential candidacy will be up this third or like I think either this Wednesday or Thursday or Tuesday between those dates. So that's coming up as well. But I think Perez will probably win after the crash out that he had. I wish Isaac and I would have done for that emergency episode, maybe another day, episode 2 for that. But no, I'm excited for some of the transfers. I think just the Gordon and Alvarez ones to Barca are just insane to me. And I think Barcola is on the market too, and then Leao is the one that really broke the news yesterday. But obviously, the Arsenal and PSG final overtook that news. If that was like announced today, I think it would have been more talked about. But I'm excited to see where he goes. I think Arsenal is the one that I would like to see him at. I mean, he needs to go to a big team and really showcase how big he is of a player he is, how talented he is, how big of a superstar he should be. But unfortunately, things haven't gone well for him. But I don't know any other transfer news that you've seen, boys, that you're like, damn, bro, like it's kind of crazy. Isaac, anything for you? Like anything from Bayern?
I think Kieran would have to help me out because I'm blanking on the name right now. One, I believe, winger or like central midfielder, attacking midfielder for Bournemouth. I saw Bayern had been somewhat linked with the Frenchman. I forgot. I don't know.
Oh, is it
I just
Junior Krupi?
Yeah, Krupi. Yeah, I think that had been the name I'd heard tossed around. I think it was sort of like, I mean, I don't know how accurate it is. Again, this is just from what I've seen on the internet, like the Elise regen jokingly type. And if that's the regen I want, give me 15 more of those. Like, I don't, I don't like, I'll take as many as I can get. So I think there's a bit of knowing that they just need more reinforcements. I mean, you have Goretzka leaving. I think you're expecting Bischoff to kind of supplement that role, but there's always stuff of who you're going to bring in. And then it's a lot of like defenders, like I think Ito's available for like 20, 25, 30 mil. I think they'll sell him for something like that. Kim might go with the right offer, but like with that, it's who else would we do? I guess the was it Polina is not going back to Tottenham, so I think Bayern's gonna have to retain him. And I think was it the Sporting center back I saw? I know we like their profile. There could be something with maybe a swap deal with having him go back to Portugal. I don't know the truth in any of those rumors. That's just what I've sort of seen from like the Bayern space, but yeah, right now it's full rumor mill. I feel bad. I don't have anything more concrete.
No, I mean that was all it ended up. I have nothing else to do. Those are just the two things that I'm excited to see potentially pan out. Gordon as well. Shout out to him learning Spanish. Beautiful accent. And then the Alvarez thing, and then Ederson. I know United are excited, so I'm just hyped to see that even with the season ending, that just that shortly we got some transfers in, and by the time World Cup ends, or even in between there's some big rumors coming up. We'll probably talk about that more, but yeah, that's all I really got. If you have anything else, boys, please speak before I close off the live stream right now, but that's all I really got, man. But yeah, you've been listening to episode 44. Next one will be the 45th, and that's fitting for like the World Cup previews that we'll be doing. Yeah, you were gonna say something, Isaac?
No, I'm just hitting like the Fantastic Four, like the
Oh,
remember like the
okay.
trend.
I was like, I thought you were saying pause.
Yeah.
We got breaking news or something like
No,
that.
no,
Yeah,
no, no.
no, I thought you were going to say something breaking news or anything like that. But no, episode 44. Thank you for all tuning in, listening, joining as well. Great season as always, and can't wait for World Cup, man. I'm super excited. Now that the season's done, World Cup is here, and we're ready to go. But thank you all, and have a good rest of your evening.